Yeah, let's start our session. So let me brief myself. My name is Ravi Kanth. I am your Selenium mentor. So I was into Selenium automation. So I'm having 12 years of experience. So I work for the client Scient, Semantic Space, Prolifix, VMware. These are all the companies I work for. So I'm having on-site experience abroad. I traveled to California. There I stay for 1 year for working for the VMware client. Right now I was giving the corporate trainings, those who are looking for the professional trainings. So I teach Java with Selenium. I'm going to be give the training for you for Java with the Selenium. Okay. Selenium is an automation tool. Likewise, we have so many automation tools are there in the market. Selenium is one of the most commonly used automation testing tool. To work with Selenium, what are the prerequisites and who can learn this course? These are the first questions people may ask. So this course can take by people who are freshers, who are experienced person, who are non-IT background. So those who are having a gap, who are migrating from manual to automation, any kind of people are eligible to take this Selenium automation course. Okay. Then what is the prerequisites to take this course means? We must be aware of programming knowledge. Okay, what kind of programming knowledge is necessary to start with the Selenium? Yes, Selenium will support various language bindings like Java, C Sharp, Ruby, Python, Scala, R language, Dart, Dart, Pascal, JavaScript, Go programming, etc. etc. Perl, PHP, etc. etc. These many programming languages Selenium will support. Any one of the language binding we must be aware of before starting with Selenium 2. So any language core Java, sorry, OOPS concepts. In every language, OOPS concepts is required. Okay, na? So the first prerequisite is programming knowledge. Which language I'm teaching you? Java with the Selenium. So we must learn core Java. Core Java, we will learn all the OOPS concepts. OOPS means object-oriented programming features. What are the OOPS features we are covering in the core Java means? Like project, packages, classes, interfaces, abstract classes, data types and its default values, variable types, typecastings, access, non-access modifiers, inheritance, polymorphism, constructors, method overloading, method overriding, data hiding, abstraction, encapsulation, method signatures, strings, debugging, file system, decision making statements, loopings, single dimensional array, two dimensional array, user defined arrays, exception handling, collections. All these OOPS concepts will be covered in a core Java. Okay. And next step, after learning the core Java, we will be starting the Selenium automation tool. Yes, Selenium, we have various components are there. in Selenium. So we have a WebDriver. Okay. Grid. Let me show that. The official website for Selenium is selenium.dev. If I go to this website, Selenium, here we can see some components are available here. Selenium WebDriver, Selenium IDE, Selenium Grid, and Selenium RC also was there. That component got deprecated. As of now, only these three components are available in Selenium. The first is Selenium IDE. So to work with Selenium IDE component, don't require any programming knowledge. Just it's a recorded playback tool. We start recording and do the operations, whatever we do, and lastly you stop the recording. During the starting and stopping, whatever operations we made will get recorded in form of HTML. After recording, you can play back. Okay, not required any programming knowledge here. Here, while using IDE, one advantage is no programming knowledge is required, but disadvantage is in which browser we start recorded, in that browser mostly it will be working. Of course, it will work in other browsers, but not 100% works on other browsers. And advanced elements cannot be recorded. These are all the disadvantages while working with IDE. So once you write a automation program, that should be working all the browsers. Such a way, the next component got introduced. That's a Selenium WebDriver. What the disadvantage we noticed, recorded in one browser may or may not work in some other browsers, and some advanced elements cannot be recorded. These are all the disadvantages using IDE. Where exactly this IDE is used means, in IDE we use for the pilot projects. See, when any new projects comes to you, their existence, so to show the instant results in front of the client, we instantly in front of client we start recording that flow, whatever you're supposed to do in front of client will show while recording, and we are executing in showing the instant results for them. For that purpose we use here. If you want to create a quick bug reproduction steps, okay, create a scripts to aid an automation edit exploratory testing, then we want to use Selenium IDE. So simple record and playback interaction with the browsers. Okay, for exploratory testing. Okay, for pilot projects we use the IDE. In real time we never use this IDE. Okay, so in real time what we use means Selenium WebDriver. If we want to work with the Selenium WebDriver, we must aware of any one of the programming knowledge, whatever I given here. Here we are talking about Java with Selenium. We'll talk about core Java concepts, then we'll start the Selenium. Okay. If we want to work with Selenium WebDriver, any one of the language banding based only we can work with Selenium WebDriver. So what WebDriver does? If you want to create
first I will show robust, you the live demo of how to access the Akashic record with the help of Akashic Tarot.
Hello. Hello. If you want to create robust browser-based regression automation suites and tester, then we have to go with the Selenium WebDriver. So once you develop the Selenium WebDriver scripts using any language specific, that developed scripts will work for all the browsers. So that's what. If you want to create robust browser-based regression automation suites and tests with Selenium WebDriver is possible. Develop a script once, write a script for once, you execute for many browsers. So with the support of WebDriver, what language banding you prefer? With that language banding, we create robust browser-based regression automation suites and tests that we can run many times in many platforms in many browsers with the support of the grid concept. Developing the scripts using WebDriver that we are scaling and distributing and running tests on several missions and managing multiple environments from a central point, making it easy to run the tests against a vast combination of browsers OS. Then we want to use the Selenium Grid. If anybody asks you what is the appropriate combination to work with Selenium, is a WebDriver with the grid. So using WebDriver, we create a robust browser-based regression automation suites and test. The support of grid, we want to scale and distribute in running the tests on several missions with using the grid only. This is the appropriate combination working with the Selenium. So in Selenium, we work with the WebDriver with the grid. This is based on any one language specific. We will build the WebDriver scripts that we scale and distribute and run parallelly in many computers in many browsers. The support of the grid component. So this is the appropriate combination working with the Selenium. So RC also is there, friends. RC got deprecated. See, we don't see RC here. Observe here. We don't see any RC here. 1 second. We can see WebDriver ID and grid only. We don't see any RC. RC got deprecated. Okay, na? RC got deprecated. Fine. 1 second. Yeah, just a minute. So friends, that too, Selenium will automate browsers, which means web applications. That's it. Selenium automates browsers. Browsers means the Chrome browser, Firefox browser, Opera, Safari, any browser my Selenium can automate. Okay, it only automates browsers. No desktop window applications my Selenium will not automate. Only the web applications only. What you do with that power is entirely up to you. What is that power? How much technically your sounds good, how much you technically sounds good, that's the power for you to build a Selenium WebDriver scripts. Okay, na? Selenium is it's not a licensed software, it's a free tool and it's an open source and it's a free tool. We can download and we can make use that Selenium libraries and we can build your programs, we can execute your programs without any purchasing license. Okay, so there are so many sponsors. There are so many sponsors are there who are sponsoring for Selenium to grow the Selenium day to day strongly. See who are the sponsors for this. If we come down here, we can see Selenium level sponsors. There are various levels of sponsors are there for Selenium. Selenium level sponsors, these are the guys: Browser Stake, SaaS Labs, Expertise, Tester. Like this, we have Selenium level sponsors. If we come a little bit down, you can also see more sponsors are available. Support the Selenium project. Want to support the Selenium project? Learn more or view the full list of sponsors. Just click on learn more to see the Selenium level sponsors. Already we have seen that. And gold level sponsor. Who is that? Micro Focus is the organization, is a gold level sponsor. And silver level sponsor, these are the companies. These are the guys. And bronze level sponsors, these are the guys. If you also want to become as a sponsor for this, means Selenium means, yes, you also can become as a sponsor at any level. If you want to become as a sponsor, so just click on this. You can see that. See goals, benefits of sponsors. See all these things is there. See, our goals are simple. We want to be able to continue improving Selenium. Everything from code reviews to specialized bug fixes to paying hosting bills for the benefit of the entire Selenium user and the public at large. We want sponsors to be able to make tax deductible donations and for the project to publicly acknowledge these donations. Okay, now? So these donations will be used for developing the Selenium day to day. So if you want to become as a sponsor at any level, so you can become as a sponsor. If you want to become as a sponsor at any level, so just click on learn more to see the Selenium level sponsors. And Selenium level sponsors, these are the guys. Browser Stake, SaaS Labs, Expertise, Tester. Like this, we have Selenium level sponsors. If you want to become as a sponsor at any level, These are the payments you have to do. Your company also will establish in the Selenium website. Okay, na? See, the Selenium project is a member of a software freedom conservancy of some actor. Okay, the conservancy has allowed us to pool organizational resources with the other projects such as Inkscape, Samba, and Wine in order to reduce the management overhead associated with the creating our own dedicated legal entity. The majority of sponsorship funds go directly towards supporting the Selenium project, such as server and software expenses. A small portion of a funds are set aside for the conservancy to continue their work in supporting Selenium and other open source initiatives. Okay, na? So all the sponsors amounts for different levels that will be used for various maintenance, Selenium project supporting and server maintenance, software expenses. All these things will be used here. If you also become as a sponsor, yes, you also can become. Okay, na? Selenium is a free and it's a open source, and it automates the web applications. That's it. What you do, entire power is how much technical your sounds good. Yes, you can build your Selenium automation scripts easily. And what are the components? Means 4 components are there: Selenium ID, Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium Grid. Out of these 4, RC got deprecated. Only available components are only these 3. Working with Selenium ID, not required any programming knowledge, just record and playback too. Just having some disadvantages while working with ID. So the WebDriver got introduced. If you want to work with a Selenium WebDriver, must be aware of any one of the language binding to develop your Selenium WebDriver scripts. So if you want to create robust browser-based regression automation suits and tester, then you must go with Selenium WebDriver. And that developed WebDriver scripts you want to scale and distribute in running parallelly in many operating systems and many browsers, then we have to take a support of the grid. That's what the appropriate combination working with Selenium was WebDriver with the grid. Okay, then what are the WebDriver concepts will be covered? Okay, let me show you. So here the concepts I'm highlighting here, friends. So WebDriver launchings, various browsers, how do we launch? You'll see that. And next options, class, and profiles. Friends, here when you are testing any test case manually, your presence will be there. If any source stoppers comes like alerts or notifications, anything comes, your presence will be there. You can handle it and you can process the execution. When you do automation, your presence will not be there. One time you instruct the script, in the middle of the executions, any source stoppers comes like notifications. Okay, na? Some certificate errors, some pop-ups. If any comes, my script gets failed. In that case, as an automation engineer, you must be able to handle that situations. How can we handle? First, I will take the browser into our control by creating the user-defined browser profiles. How do we create various browser profiles? On that user-defined browser profiles, we will use some options classes and we will do necessary settings like browser locks. We can handle it, disabling the notification bars, maximizing the window, disabling information bars, page load strategies, certificate errors, proxy settings, notification handlings. All such things we can do with using the options class. Before doing settings, first of all, we must take the browser into our control just by creating the browser user defined profiles. On that user defined browser profiles, using the options class, we will do necessary settings on the user defined browser profile. We'll talk on this. And coming to the synchronizations, friends, here our scripts are very fast in executions where application element load time will be a little bit slow. where there is a chance of failing your automation script, where we have to apply some synchronization between the script and your script and your application. So we have to make synchronization until the element loads. Our script has to be slowed down. Wait for some time until the elements load on the application. The script has to be halt for some time. For that we use thread dot sleep, implicit wait, explicit wait. Okay, na? All these things we will discuss here. And next we talk about locators. Friends, here in web application, we can find number of web elements. We can find number of web elements. Suppose we can see Amazon.in. Here we can see this is a drop down is one web element. Text box is one web element. Button is one web element. Link is one web element. Image is one web element. Like this, we have so many web elements are there in your web application. How do I interact this? How do I interact these elements? Suppose we are the human beings. I want to interact any person. What is the property I use to interact opponent person? Tell me, friends. If I want to address any person, I want to give some assignment. I want to give some task for the person. How can I give the assignment for this person? First of all, I need to identify that person. Then only I can assign the task. What is the property I use to interact the person, friends? What is the property I use to interact the person? Come on, friends. If I want to address you, how can I reach you, friends? With what property I can address you? If I want to assign some task for a person,
Name.
how can I address them?
Name.
With name. Name is
With
one
name.
property. Name is a property, right? See, suppose see, not only name, we have so many properties are there coming from the from childhood. When baby come from mother womb, from there itself we have so many properties. When baby come from mother womb, the first property we say baby is very handsome, very coloring, height, weight, color, complex. These are the first properties we have. And next after 9 days we get namakarana, like first name, last name, surname, nickname, pet name, like this becomes. So every person nowadays should have an Aadhaar card. Aadhaar card is one more property. If the person is born in the US, we have SSL number. Okay, now if you are 18 years old, we'll have a voter card. Yes or no? If you are working as employee, means we have an employee ID. These are all the properties to identify the any person. Yes or no? Suppose you are contesting in elections. What is the identity you use there to identify you? In elections you are contesting. What is the identity there? If you are contesting in elections, what is the identity we use there? Voter ID, yes or no? What, friends?
Yes, sir.
Suppose you are working as an employee. I want to calculate the salaries of all the employees. What is the identity there to calculate the salaries for all the employees?
Employee ID.
Employee ID. So based on it, you're using that property. If suppose you're purchasing any electronic goods or any automobiles, there you will show the identity as a Aadhaar card. Yes or no? If any two persons interacting to speak means the identity there name. So based on need, based on usage, that property we are using. Of course, we have so many are there. Based on need, we are using that property to interact that person or a object. A similar way, in web application, we have so many web elements, text boxes, drop downs, buttons, links, images. If you want to interact that web elements, yes, we have to interact the web elements with some properties defined by the developers. Every developer developing any web element will be defining some set of properties. Like how we have set of properties to get identified, Like every web element have some set of properties defined by the developers. Based on that properties defined, we will take and we will interact the web elements, and we will be performing the actions on that respective web elements. So we will talk here locators. Yeah, various locators are there: ID, name, class name, XPath, CSS, tag name. Like 8 locators we have. So 8 locators will talk, and also especially for XPath, CSS, how to define your own user-defined XPaths and CS selectors. Totally on locators we will talk 6 days. So basic understanding of locators 3 days we'll talk, and XPaths 1 day, CSS selectors is 1 day, and 1 day is for working locators, writing XPath CSS with the using some examples. Okay. Next, Marvin project. Friends, any project when we are developing, we will use some build tools. Using some build tools only, we build every project. We have so many various build tools are there available in the market. And Marvin, Gradle, like this, we have various build tools are there. Of course, Ant got deprecated nowadays. Marvin and Gradle, these are the build tools available in the market. Any project you are developing means using some build tools only, we will create every projects. So we'll talk about Marvin. And coming to the test engine. Test engine is a framework which is defined by the Java. Any projects when you are building, we must build your projects using some structured framework. Selenium itself don't have any structured framework. You're using some Java defined framework as a test engine. In test engine, we will talk about annotations, priorities of annotations, and grouping the test cases, executing your test cases parallelly, irrespective of the classes, methods, suits, and tests, converting the test engine classes into XML suits, grouping the test cases, making the test dependencies. Okay, working with the data providers, working with the test engine listeners, retrying the test cases of failure one, how to rerun the failed test cases with retry mechanism, and working with assertion classes like soft asserts and hard asserts for reportings, working with the test engine data providers. Okay, na? So how to set the priorities for the test cases, of how to parameterize the how to parameterize the test cases. Okay, all these things we'll talk, friends, in test engine. So, and lastly, we do one small pilot project also in test engine. Test engine we work on 8 to 9 days for test engine framework. And coming to the page object model. Page object model is approach. There itself meaning says we are working irrespective of the pages. We know web application means collection of pages or group of pages we call as the one web application. Every page contains group of elements and operations. Group of elements, web elements, and some operations will be present in the every page. Each page elements and operations we define in separate Java class. Okay, na? So page level information we store as a separate Java class. Suppose we have 10 web pages, 10 Java classes we maintain. 10 Java classes we maintain. So what is the advantage means? So easy to understand, easy to maintain. And okay, na? So if any newcomer comes, also easy to understand. Okay, na? So if any change request comes to the existing functionality, which page got impacted, that page corresponding class only we will change. If any issues comes during execution, which page got failed, that corresponding Java class we go on debug. Instead of loading every Java classes, only respective page Java class only we will load to execute. So buttons will be releasing or not. Okay, na? So the way you organize the pages is nothing but page object model. Most of the people talk like the page object model is a framework. It's not a framework, it's an approach. We'll talk about page object model approach and automating the links. So We have so many web elements are there. Among them, majority of the web elements we can find in application are in links only. So how do we work with the links in various ways? Single link, how can we interact? If we have a group of links in a page, how do we interact? If a group of links you want to interact in specific portion, how do we interact? Hidden links, broken links, all these things we will discuss one finally about the automating the links. Coming to the automating drop downs. If you want to select options, more options, single option or multi option, from drop down only we select that. Selecting options, single option or multi options in various ways, we'll discuss about the automating drop downs. Pop-ups. When we are working with our applications, various pop-ups will appear and stops your executions. Any kind of pop-ups comes, the secure pop-ups, JavaScript pop-ups, HTML pop-ups, like this kind of pop-ups comes, how can we handle them? We'll discuss here. And coming to the actions class. Some advanced elements with WebDriver directly we cannot interact, then we'll take a support of the actions class, like advanced elements, mouse overing elements. Some of the elements, once I mouse over on that particular element, then only it is going to be populate. That kind of elements we call as a mouse over elements that can be handled by using the actions class. Right clicking, double clicking, chain actions, dragging and dropping, automating slide bars, such kind of advanced operations can be interact with the using with the actions class. And coming to the JavaScript executors, using WebDriver, how you interact the web elements by using JavaScript executor also we can interact the web elements. One fine day I will discuss about the how to interact the web elements using JavaScript executors as well. And next, coming to the automating window components. Friends, my Selenium purely automates the web application elements, not a window desktop application elements. Suddenly, if any window elements comes during the web executions, so my Selenium will do hands up. In that case, we can take support of the various free Windows automation tools are available in the market, such as AutoIT, Sukuli, robotics. These are the window automating tools, free window automating tools. By the support of these free window automation tools, we can handle that window elements when during web application executions. If any window components comes up, we can take support of the either AutoIT or Sukuli or robotics. Here I am teach you AutoIT. So how do we install AutoIT? How do we build your AutoIT code? How do we execute your AutoIT code? How do you compile the AutoIT code? How do you associate the AutoIT developed code into the Selenium WebDriver script? Everything I will discuss in the AutoIT. And coming to the automating web tables. Friends, you know, some of the web elements will place inside the web tables. You know, tables contains rows and columns. Okay, na? In which row, in which cell my web element is presented. First, I will find the web table. In the web table, in which row, in which cell my required element is presented. I will check and I will interact with that element and I will perform the action. So like that, we have static web tables are there, dynamic web tables are there, date pickers are there, web table paginations are there, different concepts, tables are where we can interact the elements while traversing on the web tables. So, you know, we have 5 rows of table data is there, that a fixed table. Sometimes dynamic table means it contains sometimes it contains a file, sometimes it contains 3 like this changing. Okay, na? Pagination, web table paginations. You know, the web tables, suppose in a page we have 10 rows of data is there. If I click on second page, 11 to 20 in a, if I click on third page, 21 to 30, like these paginations of tables will be there. Okay, we don't know in which page, in which row my required element is, I don't know. I traverse every page and every row. In that row, which cell is my required element was there, we have to find out to perform the action on that element. So we have table and date pickers. You know, to select a date also, it's a date picker. It's also web table grid. First, we have to find the month and year in the table, and next on the required month and table, you find the date to select it. So date pickers, all these things in web tables will talk. And coming to the input files. Friends, once you are building your test case, we require some test data. The test data can be organized in various data sources like properties files, XML files, Microsoft Excels. Like this, we have various data sources are there. So we will talk all those things. 6 to 7 days we'll work on this data sources. And coming to the grid. So if you want to scale and distribute in running your developed WebDriver scripts parallelly in many operating system and in various browsers, then we take a support of the grid. If you want to do this grid setup, we must create a hub and nodes. Hub is a kind of server, node is a kind of clients. In networkings, how we call server and clients, the similar way to set up the grid, we must set up a hub under nodes. Hub is a kind of server, nodes is kind of clients. All are systems only. Okay, now then we will be using some classes. Okay, to execute the scripts parallel in many systems. Okay, now remote WebDriver class, desired capabilities. While using these classes, we will configure and we will execute parallel in many operating systems and many browsers. So these are the concepts to be covered in the Selenium WebDriver grid. And next we talk about DevOps. In DevOps, we talk about Maven, GitHub server, and next we talk about frameworks. Data driven, page object model. Lastly, we talk about project. Lastly, we do the benefits. So we'll get a soft copy material for Java and the Selenium. We'll get the recorded videos of your batch for 1 year access, and we'll get the source code shared through GitHub server. Daily, whatever programs I develop like Java, Selenium project, every source code I will commit and push into the GitHub server. That GitHub link I will share to each and everyone. You can pull the code of mine into your system for your reference. And recorded videos of your batch will be shared to you for 1 year view access. And soft copy material will be given Java and Selenium to mail. And the duration will be like, duration is 2 months. Daily, we have Monday to Friday. Okay, Monday to Friday. Timing is 7 p.m. IST. Okay. Clear, friends?
Yes, sir.
Doubts? Don't have any queries? We're good for today.
Hello. Hi,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
This is Venky.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Sir, ఇది మనకు 2 months కోర్స్ సార్ ఎగ్జాక్ట్ గా.
Yes, yes.
ఓకే ఓకే సార్ ఫ్రమ్ టుడే ఫ్రమ్ టుమారో క్లాస్ ఉంది సార్ మనకి.
Yes, yes. Tomorrow we have a class, sir.
సాటర్డే అండ్ సండే.
Saturday, Sunday there is no class, sir. Only Monday to Friday.
ఓన్లీ మండే టు ఫ్రైడే ఇన్ ద సేమ్ టైమ్ ఓన్లీ 6 to
Yes,
7
yes.
p.m.
Correct.
2 months. ఓకే 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 సార్, థ్యాంక్ యూ.
One more question.
Don't have any queries? We're good to stop for today. We'll meet tomorrow, friends.
Sir, one question here.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
So this 1 year access will start from the first day itself?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, friends. Done for today. We'll meet tomorrow with same time with same link. Have a nice day, friends.